A peaceful village is shattered by a sudden scream. Trouble has officially arrived as a violent thug aggressively harasses an innocent village elder. He demands to know if there's a female elf hiding in the village because his captain wants to meet her. When the terrified elder claims he knows nothing, the thug brutally shoves the old man to the ground. The crowd whispers in absolute fear. It turns out this guy belongs to a notorious gang of orphans that's been running wild, committing violent robberies daily while the guards do absolutely nothing. Annoyed by the onlookers, the thug turns on the crowd, screaming that this isn't a sideshow. He prepares to unleash a world of pain on the old man to force him to talk, twisting his fist maliciously. But just before things take a deadly turn, a blue-haired protagonist steps in, remarking on how noisy and messy the situation has become. With lightning speed, he catches the thug's fist dead in its tracks. The elder is relieved as our hero calmly states he has some business to settle with this thug and will handle the rest. The thug glares at our hero, snapping, "What are you, playing hero?" But our hero stays completely unfazed, letting him know he overheard everything and knows they're looking for an elf. Instead of backing down, the arrogant thug smirks, thinking he can easily squeeze the location out of this new kid. Our main character gives him one final cold warning: talk and maybe you'll walk away without getting hurt. Naturally, the thug chooses violence. He swings a massive punch, but before his fist can even connect, a blinding flash of light erupts. The cocky thug is completely flattened on the pavement, his face swollen and dazed, muttering, What just happened?" He didn't even see the attack coming. Our hero stands over his broken body, leaning in with a terrifying stare, asking, "Now then, shall we see how much you can actually endure?" Meanwhile, back at the enemy camp, the captain gets the news and completely loses his mind. He slams his desk, screaming about his pathetic subordinates being taken down so easily by a brat. He barks out orders across the camp, demanding they hurry up and find that female elf immediately. Just when the thugs think they have the upper hand, the blue-haired protagonist kicks the door wide open. He's dragging their beaten-up scout, who is crying and begging for his life, swearing this is the hideout. Our hero coldly looks around the room, completely unbothered by the fact that he's outnumbered. He grips the crying guide's face, threateningly reminding him that if this is a trick, he's going to beat some serious sense into him. The MC locks eyes with the leader of the gang and cuts straight to the chase. "Are you the one causing a scene in the village looking for an elf?" Instead of feeling threatened, the vile boss lets out a disgusting smirk. He openly brags about their horrific plans to have some fun with the pretty little elf before selling her off into slavery. He demands to know if our MC is the brat living with her, furious that his men were easily taken down by a mere kid. Seeing the kid step all the way inside, the arrogant thugs let out a massive laugh, mocking him for walking straight into the lion's den. One of them chuckles, "What do you think you're doing? That kid just closed the door on us." Little do they know, he didn't close the door to keep himself safe. He locked it so none of them can escape. Realizing that talking to absolute scum is a complete waste of breath, our MC decides it's time to end the negotiations. While the smug thug points and mocks him, asking if he's even holding a real weapon, the MC calmly reaches over to the massive wooden barricade. With a single, effortless motion, he grabs the thick metal sword acting as the door latch and snaps it completely in half with his bare hands. The sheer horror on the thugs' faces says it all. They suddenly realize they're not dealing with a normal kid. He coldly introduces himself to the terrified crowd. "My name is Eldomia the. The smug look instantly vanishes from the thugs' faces as panic sets in. The surrounding villagers look on in absolute shock, whispering in disbelief that a kid just shattered a blade with raw strength. But the MC isn't done making his point. As he turns around to face the entire gang, a terrifying aura begins to flare up around him. Blue energy surges from his feet, completely consuming the room as he makes a chilling announcement. "I'm going to tell you two very important things." The overwhelming pressure drops the room into a dead silence. The thugs draw their daggers and axes, lunging from all sides in a desperate attempt to take him down before he can move. But the MC doesn't even flinch as they close in. He looks at them with pure disgust, unleashing his final terrifying declaration. First, they're a lot smaller and weaker than I expected. And second, when dealing with trash like them, the absolute best method is total eradication. Refusing to back down, the arrogant gang leader screams at his trembling men, "What are you shaking for? It must have been a fake. Just kill him already." But his words come way too late. Before the thugs can even process what's happening, the blue-haired protagonist unleashes an absolute explosion of power. Covered in a blazing blue aura, he blitzes forward like a lightning bolt, launching a devastating strike that slams the leader straight into the ground, shattering the floorboards and knocking him out cold in a split second. Remaining thugs are left completely frozen in terror, sweating bullets as they stammer, What the hell was that just now? Cut to the aftermath, and we're back at a cozy cottage where a beautiful blonde-haired elf is waiting. Looking incredibly relieved but trying to play it cool, she turns to our MC and asks, "So, you ended up fighting them anyway? Didn't you say they weren't worth your time?" She stands there with her arms resting on the kitchen counter, fixing him with an intense, questioning stare that proves she was worried sick about her little brother.
The MC just scratches the back of his head with a cheeky, smug grin, totally unbothered by the deadly battle he just walked away from. He laughs it off, saying, "Haha, did I say that? I told you not to worry, they're just thugs. They really weren't worth my time." But then his expression softens, and he reveals the real reason he went on a rampage. "But they were bad-mouthing you, sis. As your brother, I couldn't just stay quiet." The tension reaches a boiling point as our blue-haired MC grabs one of the troublemakers firmly by the cheek, pulling it tight as he exposes their lies. With an angry vein popping on his forehead, he snaps, "What a bunch of losers. So they weren't war orphans, but just a bunch of runaways causing trouble in other villages?" Terrified and tearing up from the pain, he completely folds, crying out, We're sorry. We'll go back home right away." Realizing they aren't worth any more of his energy, the MC lets go, crosses his arms loosely, and leans against the wooden doorframe with a bored, unbothered expression. He scoffs, "Good grief, just get lost already." The group of troublemakers doesn't need to be told twice. They scramble out of the building as fast as their legs can carry them, yelling a frantic, "Thank you," over their shoulders as they flee down the village path. Cut to later that evening, where the MC has finally made it back home. Sitting at the dinner table with a spread of food, his beautiful blonde elf sister, Asili Endorinia, fixes him with a sharp, curious look. Holding her spoon and gesturing with her hand, she calls him out on his timing, saying, "By the way, why were you so late coming home? I thought you'd finish them off in an instant and come straight back. It's already evening." Eldomia just turned this hideout into a total graveyard, but he can't escape his big sister's interrogation. If you're ready to see what happens next, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss a single episode.